Your wings already exist. All you have to do is fly. Welcome Maha Al Balushi to her story. We're so happy to have you with us, and I really look forward to hearing your story.
Thank you very much for inviting me for this interview today, and it's my pleasure to be here and to share my story with you and with the rest of the audience.
Thank you. So, Maha, I know you're a pilot, and that's basically all I know, but I think it's more than enough. You're simply an inspiration just by being female, by being Omani, and being a pilot, which is, I think, you were the first one that I came to know of. So how did this all begin? Were you, since childhood, is it a dream that you had, or were you inspired by somebody? How did this all come about?
So it all started from my childhood, when I used to travel with my family. I used to see the cabin crew and the pilots and the atmosphere in the airport and in the airplane. And I always felt that it's something something great, something wow. And I always wanted to be a part of it. And I used to tell my father I want to be in this place one day. He used to tell me, so you want to be a pilot? He used to, I think he was trying to direct me somewhere. So so the idea was started there, that I want to be a pilot, and every time someone used to ask me in school or in the house, what do you want to be when you grow up, I tell them pilot.
Your answer was ready.
Was ready always, yeah. So I knew what I want to be.
And did anyone say, what is this dream you have, Maha? It's not in this country, or something like that? Did anyone break that idea?
Always. At my childhood, no. But when I was in, say, primary school and in middle school, secondary school, every time my teachers used to ask me and I tell them I want to be a pilot, they tell me, no, it's not possible. You cannot be a pilot.
Well, I'm sure you got it's not a job for a woman.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not a job for a woman. And not only that, but they used to tell me, there is no Omani female pilots anyway. So
how you want to be the first one?
So how you want to be a pilot? It's not possible. The idea is not there.
But for you, the idea was already planted, and since young, this was what you were going to be.
The idea was there, and every time they told me it's not possible, I asked myself, why not? Why not? What is the barrier for me to be a female Omani pilot?
Yeah.
So it started as a challenge later on.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it used to be a dream and then it just became a challenge.
So what are the challenges? Yes, now you've talked about these people saying that it's not possible. So apart from that, once you graduated and you thought, okay, now I'm going to start, did you face any challenges then?
Yeah, of course. When I finished secondary school, I also wanted to be a pilot. I wanted to be a pilot in the Air Force.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Air Force it became.
In Air Force, yeah. Because that was one of the options of how to become a pilot. However, it was not an option for me as a female. It was only available for males. So I looked at the ads and all, and it always says required candidate male. And still, I contacted them and I asked them, I want to apply. They told me, we're sorry, we cannot take females, not at the moment, but maybe in the future we will. So that was not an option anymore for me. And I joined Sultan Qaboos University for a different major, totally something different. Okay. Just not to waste time,
Yes.
To do something in the meantime. And I studied marketing, business marketing. So I graduated with a bachelor degree. During my study in the Sultan Qaboos University, I finished 2 years already in the university, and there was an advertisement for they wanted candidate pilots, student pilots, and I offered that idea to my parents, and they were like, no.
Okay.
Yeah, because you're doing something now. You need to get your degree, and
So focus on that. Don't start
Focus on
thinking
that.
again on
and
something else.
they still saw me very young. They didn't want me to go away and travel and all. And I said okay. So I continued with my studies in the university.
And you graduated?
I graduated. Before my graduation ceremony, again, there was another advertisement for...
It's calling you.
It's calling me always. Again, there was this advertisement. They're requesting student pilots.
Yeah.
And I went to my parents. I told them, sorry, but this time I'm going to do it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I'm not waiting for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you were nearly, you kept your promise in a way that you focused on
Yeah.
your
And
degree.
I graduated already. I was just waiting for the
For the
graduation ceremony.
Yes.
And I told them, this is it. This is what I want to be, a pilot. And by that time, I also applied for a different job in the same company as per my degree
Yes.
in the university.
The marketing.
Yeah. And they accepted me. And they were waiting for me to sign a contract.
So it was literally at a crossroad. Either now is my chance to become a pilot, or
Yeah.
I just, do whatever my parents want to do, want
Yeah.
me to do, which is get a job.
Exactly.
Okay.
So at that time, I saw the advertisement and I applied for it for the student pilot, and I was called for the interview. And when I went for the interview, the employee who was waiting for me to sign the contract for the other job saw me there
Okay.
and asked me, Maha, what are you doing here?
Oh my God.
It was an awkward situation. I know her now. She's a good friend, and she told me, Maha, what are you doing here? I told her I want to be a pilot. She told me, look, Maha, now you're going to the interview for the student pilot. It's a 50% chance that you will make it or you might not make it. But this job is ready for you, just for you to sign the contract now. I said, I'll take my chances. I don't want this job. Because this is not where I see myself after 10 years, I see myself as a pilot. And so I went to the interview. Yeah, I made it through the exams, through the interview, through everything.
Wow. I can't imagine, but sometimes I guess life pushes you in a corner where you have to decide either right or
Yeah.
left. And it actually tests you and says, okay, do you really want to be a pilot? You can
Yeah.
become whatever, in marketing, or you can be a pilot, and yet you chose that.
Yeah.
So صراحة, I feel very empowered by listening to that, because I think many people need to understand that you must decide, and once you decide, you must have the strength to accept your choice in
Yeah.
what you do.
And it is the decision-making process always in our life that makes us mature.
Yes.
It's not the age, it's not the years that we live.
Yeah.
It's the more decisions you have to make in your life, the more mature person you become.
What was your most memorable moment as a pilot? Okay, I can imagine you went through it, alhamdulillah. So then as a pilot, your first day, flying this commercial, how was it? How did you feel?
The most exciting memory I remember was in the flying school. When we reached the flying school, the first day was theory.
Mhm.
The second day, the instructors all came and they told us which students are going with which instructor. And once I went with my instructor in the small aeroplane. It was
Yeah.
a 4-passenger aeroplane. That day was such an exciting day, and I'm never gonna forget it, because the moment we flew and we were in the sky, I was just laughing continuously.
Like, oh my God, this is me.
Yeah, I was laughing continuously, and the instructor was looking at me. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Yeah.
He thought I'm not okay because why is she laughing all the time? But I was really happy, and I won't forget that moment.
But again, when you realize when you're living your dream, it's like basically you're living your dream.
Yeah.
You've been thinking of it and decided when you were young. Suddenly, there you are flying, and your dream has
It
become
became true,
a
yeah.
reality. You have inspired so many people, even maybe not those who want to become a pilot, but just to be bold in owning your decision to become a pilot because you're a woman. It's not accepted in society. I think it has changed. Maybe you have set that path. You've opened the road. There was no road there before. I don't know. Are you the first one, or is there someone? Is there another woman?
I believe there were other female Omanis who tried to become pilots, but they never worked as a commercial pilots. Like maybe some of them they did their private pilot license or something like that.
But
they
never
continued.
like you to actually.
Yeah, as a profession.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't take it as a profession.
And as a woman, do you find it challenging? Is this something? Okay, you're a pilot now. You're a woman. Is it something you would recommend to other women?
Yes, definitely. If they want to be a pilot, I tell them why not. I still say why not to everything.
Do you think they need to have certain characteristics to be a pilot? If so, what do you think these are?
Definitely, yeah. As personality-wise, yes. There is a lot of characteristics that has to be in a pilot, and this is not just for the females, but this is for all males and females in general. Like the person has to have decision-making skills, has to be a rational person, has to be a practical person, has to be someone with the discipline built in, you know, not something they do it for 1 or 2 days and that's it.
Yes, of course, and it's very challenging. I feel the lifestyle is completely different. You will no longer have a normal lifestyle. Your days are nights, nights and days. Your days are calculated in hours, you know, and it's just your rest. You don't rest like normal people. You don't.
Yeah, different timings, different places. You have to have the ability to adapt to all the different changes, atmospheres quickly.
Very true, and I think as well, without being said, you have to have the passion for it. If you don't have the passion for it, because some people usually get into jobs because of the money it provides, that kind of lifestyle. I think yes, being a pilot offers that, but also you have to want to do, because it's going to be your life. For the rest of your life, this is how it's going to be, and I think it becomes difficult as well when you have a family and there's all of those things. So I think that is a challenge that you have yet to face, which I'm sure you will do beautifully.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Maha, for your time, for sharing your story. You have not only inspired, I always say this, you have not only inspired others, but you've also inspired those right here today watching. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you so much, Mayya, for having me today.
You're welcome.